We both agreed it was a mistake.
The worst mistake I ever made.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down the times when our favourite romantic comedy characters were just like us.
True love and all that childhood fairy tale nonsense. You were right.
Number 10. Feeling out of your league. Crazy Rich Asians. Finding out your partner is wealthier than you are might create its own set of challenges.
So your family is, like, rich?
We're comfortable.
That is exactly what a super rich person would say.
But if your partner is crazy rich like Nick Young, that's a whole other story. Rachel Chu doesn't even find out that her boyfriend's family is one of the richest in Singapore until she's already travelled on a plane to meet them. She struggles to blend in since her background is so different.
Sorry, time out. So you're not from a Taiwan Chu family?
Nope.
Hong Kong Telecom Chus?
No.
Malaysian packing peanut Chus?
Is that really a thing?
When feeling that imbalance, particularly around money, it can be difficult to adjust. When certain people, like Nick's mum in this case, have no intention of letting you fit in, it can be even worse.
There is a Hokkien phrase, kakilang. It means our own kind of people. And you're not our own kind.
Because I'm not rich?
Number 9. A late bloomer. The 40-year-old virgin. Okay, so 4 decades might seem like a pretty long time to wait to be intimate with someone.
I've borked a lot of women in my day.
You borked?
Hold up. Yo, answer this question. Are you a virgin?
But for all the late bloomers out there, Andy Stitzer's plight might seem fairly familiar. The 40-year-old virgin follows Andy's attempts to finally leave behind his virginity. The trials and tribulations that Andy goes through are pretty relatable, even if viewers aren't in the exact same position.
Listen, the problem most men have is they just plain straight up have no clue how to talk to women.
The mix of embarrassment, excitement, and joy at finding a connection is all too familiar. And for those who choose, there's also the grooming, waxing and all.
Sweetie pie! ¿Cómo se llama? No, Kelly Clarkson!
Number 8. Culture shock. My Big Fat Greek Wedding. When you're marrying into a big family, you'll likely want to learn their particular quirks. And of course, they'll want to learn yours. In My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the back and forth of Ian trying to get to know Tula's exuberant family and vice versa is probably familiar to a lot of us.
What do you mean you don't eat no meat? Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I make lamb.
From Ian agreeing to be baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church to his decidedly not Greek parents having to meet Tula's family, many aspects of this rom-com will ring true for anyone who has been through a similar cultural exchange.
My family is big and loud, but they're my family. We fight and we laugh, and yes, we roast lamb on a spit in the front yard. And wherever I go, whatever I do, they will always be there.
Number 7. Bad karaoke. My best friend's wedding. Maybe trying to ruin your best friend's wedding so he'll marry you instead is a unique situation.
Choose me. Marry me. Let me make you happy.
But the awful singing in My Best Friend's Wedding is definitely something we can relate to. After Jules meets Michael's fiancée Kimmy for the first time, she tries to embarrass her by making her sing karaoke.
Just don't know what to do with myself.
This ultimately doesn't work, because what Jules doesn't realise is that nobody actually cares when people are good at karaoke, and being bad can be a crowd pleaser. Kimmy's tone-deaf performance reminds us of some of our own experiences. We'd give her a standing ovation for being a good sport. Number 6. All by Myself. Bridget Jones's Diary. Sometimes all you need is a good cry into some unhealthy food and drink.
Instead, I choose vodka and Chaka Khan.
Before she makes a New Year's resolution to try and turn her life around, Renee Zellweger's Bridget spends the beginning of the film feeling sorry for herself.
When I was young, I never needed anyone.
She watches Frasier, drinks wine, and sings along to All By Myself, the anthem of lonely people everywhere. We're happy to see Bridget fight her way out of this slump, but we have to admit it is highly relatable watching her go through it. It reminds us of our time on the couch, indulging in treats and songs included. Number 5. Chaotic Family Dinner While You Were Sleeping. This rom-com might have a wild premise that hasn't really aged well, but it's quite relatable, despite the fact that Sandra Bullock pretends to be the fiancé of a man in a coma that she doesn't even know. Bullock's character Lucy is incredibly lonely, a fact that hits home especially over the holidays.
I went to Cuba.
Ricky Ricardo was Cuban.
Didn't Peter look great today?
Oh, that kid. You know, he should have been an actor.
He's tall.
All the great ones were tall.
When she joins her fake fiancé's family for dinner, she gets a look into their eccentric but lovable dynamic. Each member of the family falls into their roles perfectly, creating a familiar type of chaos for anyone who has a big family.
These mashed potatoes are so creamy.
You like brunettes? I could never make a good pot roast.
You need good beef.
As for Lucy, you can see her falling quickly in love with this wacky crew. And how could you not?
Cesar Romero was not Spanish.
I didn't say Cesar Romero was Spanish.
Well, what did you say?
I said Cesar Romero was tall.
We all know he's tall.
Well, that's what I said.
Number 4. No fairy tale ending. Someone great. When you find someone you really love, you might imagine it will last forever, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Me and my man broke up. I'm 9 years, no big deal. I'm moving to San Francisco because I got my dream job.
For anyone who has ever had a relationship end not because you wanted it to, but because the timing just didn't work out, Someone Great is a highly relatable movie.
You supposed to hold me down, but now you holding me back, and that's a sound of me not calling you back.
When Jenny gets her dream job on the West Coast, her boyfriend Nate ends things with her after 9 years together. It's a tough pill for Jenny to swallow, but as the movie progresses, the audience realizes the two have been growing apart for some time.
I'm just so sad. Oh, but it's like a good sad, you know? We loved each other.
In the end, Someone Great isn't really about the relationship, it's about the friendships, and those are forever. Number 3. Olive is Mistreated. Easy A. Throughout most of Easy A, Olive tries to wield her newfound notoriety with absolute power.
That's our magical connection. I should just date the entire school.
Haven't you?
No, I haven't.
At first, pretending to date boys in exchange for gift cards is no big deal for her, but then the film takes a turn when one of the boys thinks it's real. When Olive goes on a date with someone named Anson, things go horribly wrong.
You really do have some awesome stuff. I bought my air compressor there.
So what do we do on this date?
Whatever $200 gets me.
At the end of the date, he tries to pay Olive to actually be with him instead of just faking it, and is horrible to her when she refuses.
It's not really how it works.
It's okay.
Stop!
We may not know what it's like to do exactly what Olive's doing, but we can empathize with her when she says no and the other person won't listen. Number 2. About Last Night, When Harry Met Sally. A lot about this classic romantic comedy feels like a fairy tale, but When Harry Met Sally actually has a lot to relate to. Harry and Sally start out as friends, and it takes a long time for that friendship to grow into something more.
And this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form. Is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
But even more relatable than that is the fact that their first time doesn't go over so well. Harry and Sally finally spend the night together after Sally learns that her ex-boyfriend is getting married.
Harry, could you just hold me a little longer?
In the morning, Harry has regrets and acts awkward and stilted. Even though they eventually wind up together, this all too familiar moment of poor communication almost ends their relationship for good.
Buddy, because the minute that it happens, you walk right out the door.
I didn't walk out.
No, sprinted is more like it.
We both agreed it was a mistake.
The worst mistake I ever made.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The hair routine, Nappily Ever After. A black woman's hair is no laughing matter.
Okay, all right, B, calm down. All right, it's really not that bad.
Crying, broadcast news. Who hasn't cried about work? Unplanned pregnancy. obvious child. Dealing with an unplanned baby is no walk in the park.
Maybe you want to tell him.
No, why? Why? You don't owe him anything. You don't even know this guy.
Maybe he just deserves to know that, like, this happened.
Heads up, Fire Island. We always get a little too competitive during game time.
Do this enough to this. Don't you even think. Do not pass on this icon. No, the defense is wrong. No, the defense is wrong.
Parasocial relationships, Sleepless in Seattle. Falling in love from a distance is all too relatable.
It's you.
It's me.
I saw you in the street.
Are you Annie? Yes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Not Forever. 500 Days of Summer. Most things don't last forever, and when the person you love repeatedly tells you she's not interested in something serious, it's probably your own fault if you don't take that to heart.
Relationships are messy and people's feelings get hurt. Who needs it? We're young. We live in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Might as well have fun while we can and save the serious stuff for later.
500 Days of Summer offers a pretty relatable look at how it feels to be in love with someone when there's really no future in sight. Tom ignores all of Summer's overt signs that she's not interested in him long term.
I think we should stop seeing each other.
Who among us hasn't thought that we might be the exception? It's pretty interesting for a rom-com to go that route, but we appreciate the film's attempt to show us the reality of the situation and the fact that Tom has to accept it and move on.
Destiny and soulmates, true love, and all that childhood fairy tale nonsense. You were right, I should have listened to you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.